FOX11 News at 10. All types of livestock gear were on sale for the 34th annual 4-H consignment tax sale. How funds from the sale will help the community straight ahead. And one of the biggest Taekwondo tournaments going on in Reno this weekend will bring you inside of the event coming up. Plus, a Nevada bill that would change bounce house rules after a tragic incident being signed into law last week. What Lizzie's Law does later tonight. And a beautiful live look at downtown Reno. It is pretty cold out there. We do have mostly cloudy conditions on the way for tomorrow. We'll break down the full forecast coming up.
Live, streaming, and on FOXReno.com. This is Fox 11 News at 10.
Good Sunday evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Anthony Ramos. Well, a rollover crash in Floriston resulted in lane closures on I-80 heading eastbound earlier today. California Highway Patrol responded to a single-car rollover around 4 p.m. Authorities say no one was seriously injured and one lane was closed on I-80 in Floriston following the accident. Lanes have since reopened and traffic is moving freely in the area. While roads are dry following the storm, officials remind drivers to take caution, especially around curves. Well, Reno police are investigating after a woman was found dead inside of a residence earlier this morning. According to police, officers responded to a home near Harvard Way and Vassar Street just before 11 this morning on reports of a suspicious circumstance. When officers arrived, they found a 38-year-old woman dead. They identified the suspect as 30-year-old Felipe Montoya. Details are limited in the investigation as it is still ongoing. Anyone with any information is urged to contact the department's non-emergency line or secret witness. And a man was arrested yesterday for discharging a firearm. Police responded to the area of Portneuf Drive in Spanish Springs on reports of a shooting around 5:30 p.m. The suspect was identified as 43-year-old Brandon Christensen. Christensen was under the influence of alcohol when he allegedly fired a shotgun at an occupied vehicle. No one was injured, though there were several juveniles in the area. Christensen was booked into the Washoe County Detention Center and faces several charges. Now, former Carson City public defender is facing felony charges for lewdness with a child under the age of 16. According to court documents, 46-year-old Adam Woodrum allegedly molested the victim between 2023 and August of 2024. Woodrum was booked into Carson City Jail on January 22nd, but has since been released. He is scheduled to appear in court on March 7th, and if convicted, he could face up to 20 years in prison. And there's a $2,000 reward for help in solving two poaching cases that occurred near the Nevada-Utah border. Game wardens from the Nevada Department of Wildlife have an investigation involving a bull elk that was shot and killed in Lincoln County. The animal was discovered with its head removed. The second incident, which also happened in Lincoln County, was when a bull elk was shot and found less than a mile from the Utah border. If you have any information on these cases, you're urged to reach out to the Nevada Department of Wildlife at their Operation Game Thief hotline. And a Las Vegas business owner has been indicted in a $24 million cryptocurrency Ponzi scheme. 58-year-old Brent Kovar made his first appearance in court Friday for allegedly misleading people into thinking that his company was a profitable artificial intelligence company. Kovar allegedly obtained upwards of $24 million from at least 400 investors. He's charged with 12 counts of wire fraud, 3 counts of mail fraud, and 3 counts of money laundering. Well, it was a very interesting day. We maxed out today at 59 degrees. Started off mostly cloudy and then the sun started to come out just a little bit. Let's get you outside right now and check some of those current conditions on this beautiful Sunday evening. It is getting colder out there. Right now we are sitting at 42 degrees in Reno, 45 for Carson City. Truckee already down to the 30s, just 36 degrees. Upper 40s for Fallon and low 40s for Winnemucca. Current winds out there pretty light here in the area of 5-mile-an-hour sustained winds in Reno and 6 in Minden. Still 15-mile-an-hour sustained winds out by the lake. Doppler radar not tracking too much as far as moisture right now. The beam is looking nice and clear. Tomorrow, as you make your way out, we're expecting mostly cloudy conditions throughout the day. 8 a.m. 31 degrees, 45 by noon. By 3 p.m. we are at 48 degrees. Monday, mostly cloudy and breezy. Tuesday, mostly sunny and dry. By Wednesday, our next weather maker arrives and we do have a chance for showers down in the valley. Well, the Nevada Legislature's Committee on Commerce held its first hearing on Lizzie's Law this past Wednesday, and that's a bill that aims to change bounce house operating requirements after a tragic accident struck the Reno community several years back. Fox 11's Sophie Lincoln has more on the bill.
The law, named after Lizzie Hammond, a 9-year-old who tragically died in 2019 in a bounce house accident, would change the operating rules for certain inflatable devices.
Playdates, birthday parties, sleepovers, balloon races.
It was a tearful day at the legislature on Wednesday as family members and friends of Lizzie Hammond told the Committee on Commerce and Labor of Lizzie's tragic story.
It's hard for us to share, but we feel it's very important for you to hear and to know how to protect our kids.
The bill presented to the committee had several amendments to the original bill. One actually raised the limit for wind speed when operating a bounce house from the original text speed of 10 miles per hour to 20 miles per hour. But on the suggestion of several assembly members, the Hammond family now plans to lower it to 15, a number they say is more appropriate considering the circumstances surrounding their own tragedy.
Our daughter actually died at 17 miles, so bring it down to 15. Hopefully that will save even more lives.
Another amendment that is now being reconsidered would have removed the original bill's requirement that the bounce house operator remain on site throughout the time the inflatable device is in use.
We're hoping, right, to put up a sign in front advising parents when they show up with their kids, different tragedies that happen at different wind speeds, and then also to have the wind speed monitor so that they can measure the air.
Since there was no opposition at the hearing, the Hammonds and other co-authors will now go back to the drawing board to try and reincorporate those amendments that are closer to the original bill, after which the committee will vote on it and it will be sent to the assembly floor. Reporting in Carson City, Sophie Lincoln.
A new bill has been signed to address Nevada's egg shortage and potentially lower prices for consumers. Assembly Bill 171 allows the state quarantine officer to temporarily suspend Nevada's cage-free egg law. This aiming to expand the number of egg markets across the state. And it comes as prices for eggs soar in Nevada and across the country, due in large part to the ongoing bird flu. Governor Lombardo is also calling for the repeal of Assembly Bill 399. The bill places restrictions on the production and sale of eggs. The governor says, quote, "I strongly urge the legislature to next send a repeal of Assembly Bill 399 to my desk so that we can permanently lower these costs and remove harmful California-inspired legislation once and for all." Washoe County offices will be closed tomorrow for President's Day. The county offices that you see on your screen will be closed to honor the holiday. Book drops and online services will remain available for libraries. While the sheriff's office will be closed, you can still call 911 if you have an emergency. And the following City of Sparks offices will be closed tomorrow as well. Sparks City Hall, Sparks Parks and Recreation, the Alf Sorensen Community Center, along with the Larry D. Johnson Community Center, and the Sparks Municipal Court. Regular office hours will resume on Tuesday, February 18th. A new traffic signal is coming to McCarran Boulevard at Keystone Avenue and Leadership Parkway. Starting on February 18th, periodic lane and shoulder closures will be in effect in the area during the day. Leadership Parkway will be shut down at McCarran from February 18th until March 7th. Overnight lane reductions will also be in place for roadway paving through the spring and the summer. And Sparks City Mayor Ed Lawson will be giving the 2025 State of the City address later this month. The address will be held on Monday, February 24th at 11 a.m. at the Sparks Legislative Building. There will be light refreshments for those that would like to attend. One of the country's biggest Taekwondo tournaments just wrapped up in the biggest little city. This weekend, the Reno Sparks Convention Center played host to the U.S. Open Taekwondo Championship. The three-day event featured over 2,000 competitors from 75 different countries. Athletes either performed their poomsae, also known as a form, or faced off 1v1 in a sparring match.
We're excited to be here because we want Reno to see that we have some of the best athletes who do death-defying stuff. They're jumping, they're flying, spinning and kicking, doing things that put them in the 1%. We want to share that with the whole world.
And Nelson Jr. told our news team that world champions, Pan American champions, and even some Olympians took the mats this weekend. Well, all kinds of gear and livestock equipment was available today at the 34th annual 4-H consignment tack sale at the Reno Sparks Livestock Event Center. Sunday sale offered tack and artwork and clothing at a reduced price. Some proceeds from the event will benefit the Washoe County 4-H horse program. Event organizer Linda Zimmerman said she's pleased with today's turnout.
I've heard several times today how people look forward to this event, not to just buy tack, but to see their friends in the horse community.
And with funds raised from the sale, the Washoe County 4-H horse program will host a summer youth camp on Lake Tahoe. Well, still ahead, President Trump hinting about a possible meeting with Putin to end the war in Ukraine. What he told reporters coming up. And a company may be getting the all clear for a bird flu vaccine. More on the ins and outs of that vaccine when we return. And we have dry conditions to start off the week, but by Wednesday, our next weather maker arrives, but it is a quick system. We'll break down the full forecast after the break. At 10, it was an absolutely beautiful day today. We woke up to quite a bit of clouds, but as the day progressed, a lot of those clouds started to thin out and pretty much fizzled out. Right now, we are looking at partly cloudy skies, and that will stay in place through the overnight. But we got a beautiful chime-in picture. This is from Steve Schrader. This was taken near Washoe Lake. Beautiful low rainbow there. Of course, some areas waking up to the small small showers and snow showers as well, mainly down by the lake, but definitely still cause for a beautiful sight. Beautiful low rainbow, and of course, the beautiful low clouds there. They are passing out. Steve, thank you for that chime in. MyNews4.com/chime in is the inbox. So beautiful live look at downtown Reno tonight. It is getting colder out there by the minute, but not nearly as cold as it was the past few days. Right now, 42 degrees out there. Winds pretty light, just 4-mile-an-hour sustained winds here in Reno. 38 degrees by the lake. Winds still kicking a little bit out of the south at 15 miles an hour. These are sustained winds, so gusts are another story. Now, overnight lows tonight are going to be getting cooler, but not quite as cool as we've seen over the past few days, with the exception of those lake areas. Let's break it down a little bit. Down by the lake, you're expected to get around 20 to 21 degrees overnight. We're not looking at pretty much teens across the area. We're looking at low 20s. So down by South Lake, 21 degrees. Carson City, 25. Washoe City, 24 in the overnight hours. As we make our way towards the Reno area, our mean overnight temperature tonight is expected to be around 27 degrees. And we're going to keep that pretty much for all of these areas surrounding Reno and the around. So here is Doppler radar right now. Again, right now we're just facing with partly cloudy conditions. We have a little bit of some light snow flurries up and over those areas near the border there. And here where we are, everybody is nice and dry and nice and clear. That'll stay the same at least to the start of the week. We're looking at mostly cloudy conditions for your Monday holiday, and we pretty much keep the cloud cover throughout the day. Tuesday, we're looking mostly sunny. We'll get a little bit of a break from the clouds, but by Tuesday night into Wednesday, they'll start to pick up a little bit, opening the storm door for Wednesday. Now, Wednesday, we do have a weather maker that is on the way that's going to bring us some valley rain and some snow around the lake and even some snow up in the Sierra, but it's not looking too promising as far as measurements. It is a very light system. It's a weak system, but gusts will also start to kick out a little bit. But by 3 o'clock, good chance of showers here. By the end of the night, storm is pretty much gone with just some lingering chances up and over some of those passes there. By Thursday, we are looking nice and clear, and high pressure actually returns and is going to be warming us up quite a bit for the end of the week. Overnight tonight, 27 degrees here in Reno, partly cloudy. Our average low is 29, so we're not too far off where we should be. Tomorrow, 49 degrees, mostly cloudy and breezy. It will be a bit gusty, continuing with this front that we had move over us today. So we can expect gusts up to 25 miles an hour at times. And here's the Reno 10-day forecast. 49 degrees for President's Day. 50s are back by Tuesday, but look at next weekend. We have the potential to get into the 60s, 62 degrees expected for Saturday, and 65 degrees possibly by Sunday. President Trump taking questions from reporters today, saying he will meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin pretty soon.
Yeah.
No, there's no time set, but it could be very soon.
Like this month?
Well, it'll be soon. We'll see what happens. But they're meeting right now, and that's more. I mean, this should have been done 4 years ago, 3 years ago, before it started, but it should have been done immediately after it started.
The president there referencing peace talks over the war in Ukraine. According to reports, U.S. and Russian diplomats are expected to meet in Saudi Arabia in the coming days. President Trump says President Vladimir Zelensky will be involved. The Ukrainian leader, however, says his country has not been invited to the talks. And French President Emmanuel Macron is calling an emergency meeting of the European leaders Monday to discuss the war in Ukraine. Comes after President Trump stunned NATO allies in Ukraine last week when he announced that he spoke with Russia's president about peace talks without consulting them. Trump's Ukraine envoy further jolted European leaders on Saturday when he said they will not have a seat at the negotiating table regarding the war. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is calling for the creation of a European army. Zelensky speaking at the annual Munich Security Conference, warning that the continent can no longer rely on American protection.
3 years of full-scale war have proven that we already have the foundation for a united European military force. And now, as we fight this war and lay the groundwork for peace and security, we must build the armed forces of Europe so that Europe's future depends only on Europeans.
Zelensky also said that Ukraine would never accept deals, quote, made behind our backs. The Ukrainian leader referencing a phone call President Trump had with Russian leader Vladimir Putin last week. Zelensky's speech comes after both Trump and U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth poured cold water on Ukraine's bid for NATO membership. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is in Jerusalem today, where he met with Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. The two men say both Israel and the U.S. are determined to counter threats imposed by Iran. Rubio accuses the Iranian government of being behind every conflict in the Middle East.
It is the single greatest source of instability in the region. Behind every terrorist group, behind every act of violence, behind every destabilizing activity, behind everything that threatens peace and stability for the millions of people who call this region home, is Iran.
Rubio also plans to visit Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates to discuss plans for a post-war Gaza. Well, the crowd at the Daytona International Speedway cheering as Air Force One flies overhead. President Donald Trump made an appearance at the Daytona 500 today. His motorcade took a lap around the 2.5-mile track, and the president received loud cheers when he appeared for the national anthem. This isn't Trump's first time at the Daytona 500, nor is it the first time as serving president. In 2020, Trump made his way down to Florida for the event and even served as the race's grand marshal. Well, the Agriculture Department, has issued a conditional license to a company to produce a bird flu vaccine for chickens. The vaccine maker Zoetis it's a company that the spokesman say its scientists began updating an existing avian flu vaccine several years ago. The United States has tried to eradicate avian flu, and that strategy may be shifting. Workers have killed more than 150 million birds infected or exposed to the virus since the outbreak began in 2022. That has led to higher prices for eggs and an egg shortage around the country. The Justice Department is formally asking a court to dismiss the corruption charges against New York City Mayor Eric Adams.
It is now my belief that the federal government intends to charge me with crimes.
Acting Deputy U.S. Attorney General Emil Bove filed a 3-page motion Friday seeking to dismiss the case without prejudice. This means that the charges could be revived in the future. A grand jury indicted Adams last year on allegations he received foreign bribes in exchange for political favors. Adams pleaded not guilty and insists the case was politically motivated. Investigators in Wyoming began sifting through the wreckage inside of a highway tunnel following a fiery pileup on Friday. According to Wyoming Highway Patrol, at least 2 people were killed and 5 others were seriously wounded. Photos of the scene Friday show crumpled semi-trailers outside of the smoke-blackened mouth of the tunnel, which runs about a quarter mile along Interstate 80. The National Transportation Safety Board says it has opened a safety investigation together with the Highway Patrol. When we return, a new Wall Street Journal report on rent will tell you why Americans should probably expect high rent prices. That's after the break. Well, a Wall Street Journal report says Americans looking for lower rent prices in 2025 may not find them. And that's because a post-pandemic boom in apartment building the last 2 years is dwindling, and more people need to rent longer because of high home mortgage rates preventing turnover in the existing rental units. The report says new rental supply in places like the Midwest, Northeast, and West Coast has been blunted. CoStar, a multifamily analytics company, says every major metropolitan area will see more renting and high prices. President Trump's trade and immigration policies could have effects on rent, with deportations of migrants driving up labor costs and tariff wars increasing material costs. The U.S. depends on Canada and Mexico for 25% of building material imports. The Food and Drug Administration is escalating a previous recall of Pearl Mining Company's original pancake and waffle mix. The FDA moving the previous January recall to a Class 1 alert. That's the most serious level. 2-pound boxes of the product have they contain undeclared milk content. The FDA says the Class 1 recall means there is a reasonable probability of serious health consequences or even death from consumption. To see if your product is impacted, visit fda.gov and head to the Safety and Alerts section. The American Red Cross of Northern Nevada is hosting CPR and AED classes. More than 350,000 Americans suffer cardiac arrest each year. CPR can double or even triple the chances of survival. The Red Cross offers training in person and online. If you're interested in taking a class, you can sign up by going to the website that you see on the bottom of your screen. The Smith and River Bistro in downtown Reno is turning over the keys. In a statement, the owner of Smith and River said the location would be handed over to Sergio Romero, the owner of La Condesa Eatery. Romero has plans to open a new business at that location in March. Yesterday was the closing day for Smith and River. The now previous owners plan to focus on their other business, the Roundabout Group. And Frontier Airlines is returning to the Reno-Tahoe International Airport. They'll be offering new nonstop service to Las Vegas and Denver starting on March 7th. To celebrate the return of the airline, the airport is offering a travel package giveaway to both destinations. The package includes a $250 flight voucher, bags included, a $500 hotel voucher, and a $50 Visa gift card. Travelers can enter the sweepstakes once a day now until March 7th. And with many off for President's Day tomorrow, it's the perfect day to hit the local roller rink. The first ever Skate for Smiles event is happening at Roller Kingdom. The night will feature raffle prizes, artwork, and more. Funds will be going towards families and babies who need cleft or palate repairs. You can register for the event by scanning the QR code you see on your screen, and that event takes place tomorrow from 6 to 8 p.m. Well, still ahead, mental health inmates at the Washoe County Detention Facility had special visitors on Valentine's Day. More on who came and their important role straight ahead. And here's a look outside from our GSR Skycam. We'll get a final check of the forecast after the break. You can also find the latest news and headlines on our website, foxreno.com, and of course across our social pages, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Stay with us. We'll be right back in just a couple minutes. We had a special visit from therapy dogs on Valentine's Day. Certified therapy dogs from Paws for Love stopped by the jail-based mental health unit to bring comfort to those housed. Studies show petting animals can lower blood pressure and even ease anxiety or depression. By bringing the therapy dogs, the Washoe County Detention Facility aims to provide an extra layer of support for inmates to focus on their treatments. All right, before we let you go tonight, I want to take a look at Tahoe's 10 days. So for your President's Day Monday, 41 degrees expected. Mostly cloudy skies. We are not expecting any rain tomorrow. By Tuesday, we are expecting mostly sunny skies. The clouds will start to increase towards the end of the night with a 10% chance of showers leading into Wednesday. We are expecting snow showers throughout the day, 70% chance of moisture. We will start to dry things out by Thursday. By Saturday and Sunday, we are in the 50s. Again, tomorrow, Reno, mostly cloudy, 49 degrees. It will be pretty gusty, gusting up to 25 miles an hour at times. Well, that's going to do it for us tonight for Fox 11 News at 10. Our next newscast tomorrow at 7. Have a great rest of your night.